Yeah, free socks.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm gluten-free jelly bean.
And I am Diet Purina. Welcome to another episode of the hit podcast, Free Socks. Yeah, that's right. It's the ASMR episode. You earned it. You earned this.
500 sweet old downloads, Daryl. Can you believe
the
it?
Sweetest downloads. I can't believe it. It's literally ridiculous that people would download this thing 500 times.
Yeah, can you believe it? It's wild. And they asked for a special ASMR 500th episode or 500th download special. So we're giving it to them. ASMR. It hasn't started yet, but we're going to. Yeah,
we're going to be giving you the tingles the whole episode. Just real close, like this. Activating your tingles and this is going to be real uncomfortable with car rides and listening to this in headphones. But that's how ASMR works.
All right. That's enough, Daryl. That's enough before we lose all our listeners.
Yeah, no, that was weirdly sexual, and I did not approve.
Yeah, we're not actually going to do that ASMR.
Porn.
No, we can't do that. I guess it can kind of be like
it's
porn.
just a fetish.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's just a fetish. It's weird.
Very weird.
But, we're sex positive. We don't judge anybody's fetish. We don't kink shame.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is free socks. All socks are free, and everything else is free too. All right, Daryl, what are we talking about today?
Fetishes.
No, we're not talking about fetishes today.
No, I know. Big news in the world of superheroes. Henry Cavill, or Cavill, I don't know how to say his name, out as Superman, reportedly, officially. And also, Ben Affleck about to be out as Batman. It doesn't look like he's going to be in the new Batman movie. So Warner Brothers says they're going to be focusing on Supergirl, and they're not going to make another Superman movie for the next several years. They're also apparently eyeing Michael B. Jordan to replace Henry as Superman. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know, Daryl. It's a lot to take in. There's so much going on there.
And we'll start bit by bit. What jumps out at you the first thing? Henry, Michael B., or Batman?
Supergirl. Like what's going on? So they're making a Supergirl movie?
They haven't done anything officially yet in the way of Supergirl, but the Warner Brothers statement from the interview is basically they're looking into focusing more on Supergirl and Kara Zor-El instead of Clark Kent. So he's probably going to be shelved and maybe have cameos or just sort of Easter eggs in future DC movies going forward. It looks like another Justice League is out of the question until they can resolve both Superman and Batman, and they're also wondering how well Aquaman and Wonder Woman 2 are going to do.
Oh, my Lord. What a joke. What an actual joke. It's actually kind of hilarious that this kind of thing would happen. I can't believe it.
Mess,
they're fucked. Like, they're not going to be able to cash in on the whole superhero thing, and it kind of sucks.
Warner Brothers has been biffing it for forever. It's so weird, because they have, like the DC animated universe has, 12 movies that all connect together, and it's a fully cohesive cinematic universe. It's just a cartoon, and they haven't done theatrical releases for it. So it's just so weird that they have the blueprint for a fully successful and operational movie franchise that someone's already done storyboarding, everything for all the movies. All they have to do is just cast people and shoot them in live action, and they print money.
Yeah, but people don't want to see that rehashed, Daryl.
Aaron, those movies are a specific audience. If you did a theatrical release of a live action, the Avengers movie came after an animated version of the movie, and they did pretty much the same thing.
Huh.
Yeah. So, who would you like? Who would you like to see replace Henry Cavill, or do you think he should come back? Do you want anyone to replace him?
I think Warner Brothers is just fucked if he doesn't come back. They're trying to get something started. So what? They get all new people and they reset. They press the restart button on their You know, like, it just doesn't
The
make
universe,
sense.
yeah. Plus that and the standalone Joker movie that's not in their cinematic universe.
Yeah,
It's a
is that
Joker
still going to
origin
be
movie.
Jared Leto? Is like,
No, it's Joaquin Phoenix. It's never been Jared Leto for the standalone Joker movie. It's always been Joaquin Phoenix.
what is going on, dude? Like,
It's a totally different Joker, and it's set in the 80s. It's set in the 80s, so Batman's not even a thing in that movie. It's just Joker origin.
I guess it could just be like a multiverse. They could be like, oh yeah, that was a different universe. This is Superman in a different universe now. We didn't lose our actor or anything.
That's what they're
It's just
doing,
like-
I think. It's weird.
I mean, that'd be the
weird as
only
hell.
way for this to work out for them. Even still, it's a joke.
Well, John Hamm has been eyeing the role of Batman since Ben Affleck has reportedly won it out for some time now.
I mean, good. I mean, I've seen so many Batman movies. I'm not sure I'd care that much anymore. No one's gonna do better
Yeah,
than
no.
the Nolan films.
I don't know. I feel like the Nolan films were too afraid to just have what everyone wants, which is the Batman family, because there's so many different sidekicks.
It
you know?
just doesn't work in that universe. Like, there could be a
Like
different.
they had Tim Drake, I think, at the third one, right? Joseph Gordon-Levitt was Tim Drake, and then he.
I don't think like they're really vague about it. I think it was just like a fan service thing. It wasn't.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was just a way for. Well, yeah, just fan service. Like, it wasn't that
Mm,
fleshed out.
yeah, but yeah, no, they have a whole Batverse they're working on. Like they're gonna make a Batgirl movie, a Nightwing movie, and how is Flashpoint supposed to work when you're recasting half of the Justice League? Because it's basically like Justice League 2.
It's
And
an
that was the Flash's
alternate
whole
reality,
deal.
Daryl. A whole different universe. It's just not gonna work.
I think it's really funny that they keep fucking this up.
It's
because
hilariously
of it-
ridiculous.
part of it's Warner Brothers. Another part of it is like people keep shitting on all the DC stuff way before it's released, and so Warner Brothers keeps trying to change it and evolve it before they're done making the movie.
They just screwed it up so
They're
many
like-
times. How are you gonna expect something good to come out of their awful, like, based on their previous history?
Yeah, no, but if you like troll every single part of the process, like, oh, we announced a casting, and they're like, this is stupid, this sucks, DC is always going to be garbage. It's like, well, how do we make DC not garbage? And then they just keep coming up with worse ideas, you know?
Yeah, it's wild. We also, Daryl, we forgot to give credit to our guy on Twitter, Joe Mack, who mentioned this as a question for the week.
Yep.
He said,
He's in the running.
he's in
for
the running.
September.
Joe Mack, thank you for the question. Word came out today that Henry Cavill is out as Superman, which follows Affleck out as Batman. Is there any chance DC can write their cinematic universe at this point, or is it just toast? Thank you so much for the question, Joe Mack. And we have determined that the DC universe is, in fact, toast.
It's pretty much toast. I was really looking forward to them making some good films down the line because I feel like Marvel does have a monopoly, and I'd like to see more superheroes take the screen. But if Aquaman doesn't work out, and Wonder Woman 2 is probably going to do about as well as Wonder Woman 1, but if Aquaman doesn't work out, they only have 2 movies this year, and if only one of those movies is good, they're probably going to just shutter the whole thing and start again in like 10 years.
I mean, Shazam looks like a pretty cool movie. I'm actually excited
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
that one does look good too.
Look,
Yeah,
I
that one
mean,
looks good too.
They're just going to have to...
I think the thing about sorry,
No, go ahead, Daryl.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go... Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah, so, like, their whole cinematic universe is definitely going to have to be scrapped, I think, at this point. But they can make some good standalone films. I mean, they had a good run with Wonder Woman, and I think Aquaman can do all right, and Shazam, I think, could probably do pretty well. But that's it. Then you just
The big
scrap
issue
it.
with Henry Cavill walking out though was he was supposed to do a cameo in Shazam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Superman and Captain Marvel have like a weird relationship where Superman finds out how Billy Batson gets his powers, and he's basically like, "You did this to a boy, you fucking idiot! Why would you give these superpowers to a boy?" Like he yells at the wizard who gives Billy his powers. It's like, you can't make a boy do this. This is a man's job. I barely do it. You made a boy do this? And so I was looking forward to that cameo of Superman just yelling at a wizard.
Yeah. I was looking forward to seeing another CGI not mustache again. That would have been nice.
I honestly don't know why they couldn't have just waited for him to finish one movie and then let him shave it.
I don't know. Just every little thing about it's just hilarious. It makes me want to laugh, literally. Like it's
Their decision-making process is so terrible. It's like, we have to get this movie out. It's like, listen, man, slow your roll. The hype for Justice League is barely there. If you biff this movie, no one's gonna give a shit about your movies anymore. CGI mustache now.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube where people like they do a side by side of them editing out the mustache on like their trash PC at home versus like the actual cut of the movie? It's ridiculous. It's so funny.
Yeah, no, like people did a much better job of editing it out than the professionals at that
than
studio
this
did.
huge movie studio. Yeah, for sure, guys. Absolutely silly.
Yeah. Okay, so
big thanks to our friend of the podcast, Joe Mack.
Yeah, he's a real big help. So, Aaron, we've talked a little bit in depth about the whole Louis C.K. situation. Have we talked about Roseanne at all on the pod?
We may have mentioned Roseanne. I don't think we've talked in depth about Roseanne.
Okay, so for those of you who are unawares about Roseanne, she was on a television show about her and her fictional family, the Connors. It was called Roseanne. It's pretty popular. They just did a reboot of the show, and it was doing gangbusters. And then she's like a pretty outspoken conservative, and then she tweeted basically saying that this lady looks kind of like someone from Planet of the Apes. And then her show got canceled, and she got fired. And then everyone else was like, wow, we're canceled. Thanks a lot, Roseanne. So now they're doing this show without her, and they're killing her off. Sort of 2.5 Men, Charlie Sheen style. It's real fucked up. No, like, they're just like, yeah, no, you're dead now, I guess. We're doing it over again. Fuck it.
I didn't know they were doing that.
So they're doing all that. And also, Louis C.K., masturbated in front of women. He's a monster. Anyway, that brings us to a nice little segue into our next segment called You're Canceled.
It's not called You're Canceled, Daryl. It's called You're Canceled.
Yes, and with that tone and cadence, that's what it's called. Basically, we're just going to talk about what celebrity or personality, whatever, has landed themselves in some hot water because of a social faux pas they recently made. Up on the chopping block currently is comedian Norm Macdonald, for his support of Roseanne and Louis C.K.
Norm Macdonald. Yeah, this guy said some stuff on late night television, I believe, Daryl, was it?
Yeah, it was late night TV.
Yeah, I didn't see what he actually said. Daryl saw it, but apparently he made some comments that made people upset because they felt like he was minimizing the pain of the victims of Roseanne and Louis and their actions.
Yeah, basically what Norm Macdonald said was he's friends with Roseanne and Louis C.K., and he said it was a real bummer for them to have lost, quote-unquote, everything due to some mistakes. He doesn't think that they should have lost everything in a matter of seconds, and he said the victims' lives didn't get ruined that fast. That's the biggest thing people have issue with, is that he said the victims' lives didn't get ruined as bad as Roseanne and Louis C.K.'s lives. He recently released a statement on Twitter apologizing for or rescinding some of the statements, and do you have that still or no?
Yeah, he said, Roseanne and Louis have both been very good friends of mine for many years. They both made terrible mistakes, and I would never defend their actions. If my words sounded like I was minimizing the pain that their victims feel to this day, I am deeply sorry. Yeah.
So, for Norm Macdonald, it looks like currently you're canceled. Another person who recently got shut down by the Twitter mob was Doja Cat. If you don't know who that is, it's the girl who does the song Bitch I'm a Cow, Moo, and she's dressed like a cow. Basically, she got real famous overnight because of that song. Everyone thought it was a real fun meme, whatever. They really liked it and her whole vibe. And then someone went scrolling through her Instagram and saw a post that she had that had the F word for gay people on it. And then someone called her out on it, and she tried to apologize about it. But it was a not good apology because she wound up using that word several times throughout the apology. And so people were not pleased with it, and so they decided to cancel Doja Cat. Apparently,
canceled.
the tour's still going on, according to her Instagram, but it looks like she is out of the fucking biz. Well, it doesn't look like she's out, but it looks like she's not going to be as popular as she was going to be. This is definitely 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah, big bummer. I didn't even know about this thing until Daryl told me about it. I don't even know why she was famous in the first place, but yeah, it's a bummer when people get canceled, but you know, it's necessary.
It's just what happens.
Just
what happens when you don't live up to what you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
One person's take that I saw about the whole Norm Macdonald thing, though, that was interesting, was like, we got to stop putting comedians on a moral pedestal just because they're funny on stage. Like, we can't conflate someone making me laugh in a setting where they're supposed to be funny with, like, some sort of wisdom that they have or authority on, like, social dynamics, you know? Like, sometimes people are just one thing, and that's okay. And I think that's correct. Yeah, like, I don't think we should look to comedians to tell us right and wrong, or, like, I don't think we really need Norm Macdonald's take on any of that stuff.
Yeah, sure,
You know?
Daryl.
So
So you
unless
don't
he
think he should have got
decides
canceled?
to give it.
You don't think Norm Macdonald should be canceled?
It's not that I don't think he should be canceled. Like, I believe in accountability for what you say. Like, if you say something, people don't like it, that's on you and the people. But, like, I don't think he should be in a position where we're like, well, what are your thoughts on this? Like, I don't think we need his opinion specifically. Like, it wasn't needed or warranted for him to give that take. And so I don't think, like, in the context of that interview, that it helped anything to know his position. In fact, it only served to hurt.
But then what's the point of having him on the late night television show?
You can ask him about other stuff, but I just feel like if you, like, you don't need everyone's opinion on everything. There's some people who are better at talking about certain things than others.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. So, we missed a whole week of podcasting because of something. Something kept us from doing an episode last week. We tweeted about it, but we haven't really talked. We've talked about it, but we haven't really.
We've talked
given our
about it a
full
lot.
In-depth review. Now that we have it,
In anticipation, we talked about it.
and let me just tell you, the anticipation doesn't even begin to fucking cover the actual hype of the product that is Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4. The greatest game of all time.
Greatest game of all time. Insomniac Games, you've really done it again.
Like, you came up to the plate, and you just fucking crushed it. Like, you flipped the bat upside down, and you were like, yeah, no, I'm still going to hit it out of the park. If I held the bat normal, if I held the bat correctly, I would demolish the stratosphere. I'm going to hold it upside down. And you still fucking you sent the ball 2 miles out of the stadium with this game. It's the best game I've ever I haven't been happy playing a video game in years. I'm fucking giddy just swinging around. It's that good of a video game.
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man on PS4. We've talked a lot about the anticipation for this game. It's been anticipated by a lot of people. Maybe not as much as it has been for me and Daryl, but good God, has it lived up to the hype? It is just like it.
100%.
It's such a great game, great storyline, great mechanics, great anything you can imagine, progression. If you play video games and you like comic books or anything like, even if you just like video games, you need to play this game.
Like, if you just appreciate good game mechanics and story, this is a fucking game for you. This is, like, I cannot think of a way I could better improve this game. And I'm very critical of open world games because I play them all the time. I cannot think of a single thing that I would fix this game.
There's nothing to fix. It's well, besides the that little scuffle with that guy, Daryl. You know, the guy who was trying to propose to his girlfriend in the game.
Ooh.
They should probably fix that.
Yeah, that is a big oofy ouchie. Yeah, I would take that. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The girl came forward and she said, 1, I did not leave him for his brother. 2, we were not even dating.
I didn't
3,
even hear that
I'm not
much.
romantically into this guy.
No. Really?
Yes.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, she released a statement saying, "We've never been romantically involved. I'm not into him. I did not leave him for his brother."
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that dude was really just trying to, like, make us all feel real bad. Because he just shot a shot that wasn't going to go in and then was like, huh. He got them sympathy views. He got those sympathy views on his channel, though.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That makes the story even better.
It is so good. And it's just, like, the attention to detail on this fucking game.
Yeah, every little thing
Every
has
building
been
is
thought
different.
out.
It's the only game I'm probably going to 100%. I'm not even joking. I've never 100%ed a game before. I'm 100% this game. It's that good.
I plan
And we're
on
getting a
it
new game
as well.
plus in like a week.
Yeah, it's a great
So,
game.
Aaron,
though.
have you played God of War?
I haven't played God of War, and I feel like it wouldn't be fair to me, fair for me to compare this game to God of War. Even if I had played it, it wouldn't be fair because two things that I love in my life: video games and Spider-Man.
Superhero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the origin of my love for those things come from like the Spider-Man video games I played when I was a kid. So like this is geared for me specifically. Like there's no way anything could be better than this for me.
That's true.
So it's not like God of War is probably a
I
great
feel it.
game, but for me I would never love it as much as this game, even if it is better.
That's 100% true for me. I've played the game, and I don't think the two are comparable in a way that like matters in terms of gaming. Just as far as story, they're both beautiful games, expertly written stories. So, I mean, it's going to be a stiff competition for game of the fucking year. Like, I don't know another game that could compete with those two.
I don't know. I'm gonna
Like
be
I
upset
said-
if Spider-Man doesn't get it for a lot of places, but at the same time I'm pretty biased. So
Yeah, but honestly, PlayStation's been fucking bringing it with the exclusives this year.
yeah, PlayStation's really knocked it out of the park. Good luck, Xbox.
Yeah.
Which
I
brings
mean-
us to our next topic: Xbox versus PlayStation. Yikes! Who wins the
Yeah.
fight, Daryl?
Our friends picked Xbox, but I think PlayStation just has better games.
Here's the thing, Daryl. Here's the thing. This generation, PS4 has had a lot of better games, like single-player, story-driven video games. Yeah, sure. PS4, you should buy that. But looking forward into the future, Xbox has been working hard to cover their ground on that. So, who's
Yeah,
to
but
say?
any game Xbox is getting, PlayStation's also getting.
No,
You know,
but
like Anthem is a big one that they're getting.
I'm not talking about third-party games, Daryl. Like this last E3, Xbox announced like a bunch of new studios that are first-party now, so that they can have as many exclusive games as PS4, and hopefully great games. But yeah, so
Yeah.
going forward, I
I mean,
would
they have
hope
both,
that it's
so I'm
both.
looking forward. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be more of a competition in the future, because right now PS4 is just wiping the floor with Xbox. As far as like the user experience, they're both the same, but exclusives
Yeah,
is
they're,
really
they're,
where
they're pretty much interchangeable in terms of like gameplay and like how the interface of the actual just systems work. Like you're not getting too much of a different experience. It's just sort of like what type of games do you like to play? Because you can play all the types of games on PlayStation just because they have all the good single player games and all the multiplayer games that everyone plays.
Yeah, it's pretty. Xbox would be in a much scarier place right now if they hadn't just hired a bunch of studios, because they knew they were about to lose a bunch of customers if they didn't.
Yeah. Plus, also, like, next gen's coming out in, like, 2 years. Like, the shelf life for these two systems is over in, like, 2020.
That's a guess right now. It's not
They
for
might
sure,
still make new
but
games, but... No, that's what they projected. It's like,
Yeah.
there's, like, 2 more years, according to, like, PlayStation for sure. It's, like, 2 more years till they roll out the PS5. And I honestly have no idea what they're going to do for that one. Is it just going to be, like, a PS4 Pro that's, like, shaped
extra
different?
pro, super pro.
Yeah, because I don't know, like, unless it's like get like 4K on just every system, what more can they do? Like,
Yeah,
what can they do with technology that hasn't already been done?
Well, that's why it's weird that people are projecting 2020, because like usually, like console generations are defined by the new hardware available that makes it like feasible to create a new system. So if everybody's still on 4K, then like what's the point of making everyone upgrade? Like we need 5K or something before we can even think about rolling out new consoles.
See, what I'm thinking is more like they're going to start doing more destruction engines for worlds that are open world, like Crackdown, because with Crackdown they're doing this new thing called cloud computing. So it's like your system doesn't even handle the math of what's going on in the game. It's all connected to the internet. And so like you can real time destroy skyscrapers and stuff.
Oh, so you're thinking that the hardware is going to be used to like make the games just like do more.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, we talked a lot about games. Have we talked anything about movies?
Daryl, we
haven't
talked
talked
all
anything about
about the DC.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did talk a bunch about movies. All right, you want to?
All we talked about is superheroes. We need to get out of the superhero stuff.
Yeah, we are in a rut of superheroes. So I guess we could go darker and go Crime Watch.
Crime Watch on Free Socks Podcast. All right, guys, this is a pretty new segment. Kind of just well, just with the current situation in our home area. So we live in the high desert. Well, Daryl, we're both from the high desert, I guess you could say.
We're both from the high desert, yes.
Yeah, and so there's this thing going on. There's this guy we all like to refer to as the Machete Man.
Yes, there is a Machete Man. So the official story is that there was an armed robbery. I don't know how the robbery went for Machete Man, but some guy armed with a machete stabbed 2 young girls during a robbery and is currently at large.
Yeah,
And
at
apparently
large.
he's
That's
still
the
just-
scary part. He hasn't been caught.
Yeah, he's just been running around with this machete, just showing up places. This one girl I follow on Twitter said she saw him at Del Taco with the machete.
I heard that. I don't think that's
So just
accurate,
like-
but yeah, I'll let you say that, Daryl. I'm just not sure about the accuracy
No,
of
she
that.
tweeted. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying someone tweeted like, "Oh, be careful, he's here at Del Taco."
Yeah, but if you
Everyone
see
watch
Machete
out."
Man, you don't tweet it. You call 911 and then get him arrested, and then you tweet, "Hey, I got Machete Man arrested." You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the legitimacy of that claim. I'm just saying that's what I saw. And to be honest, he's still he's still just on the loose.
Yeah, that's the wild part. Like this is seriously the plot of a horror movie, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, like
It's pretty upsetting.
this is basically Friday the 13th that you guys are living in, because it seems like his only victims are teenage girls, and he's just sort of running around. Like, I could not imagine what we would do if like one of our friends had gotten just stabbed during high school randomly.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Like nearly murdered over the $20 in their wallet. I just don't get it.
I don't think any of us would be allowed to go anywhere ever again.
Yeah,
I
our
think
parents
we
would
all
never
would've
let us
had to
go
stay
to their
home.
house.
Mm-mm. Which is crazy. Another thing for Crime Watch. Before we get into what happened, I just want to note some thoughts on you, Aaron. This is hypothetical. Say you cheated on someone, right? Your significant other or whatever. Do you think that if your significant other found out that they should be allowed to strike you or hit you or burn any of your stuff, like mess with your stuff in any way? Do you think that's an appropriate response?
I think it's like it makes sense to respond that way, but it's definitely not appropriate. No one should actually do that. But I understand the anger and whatnot. That'd be a difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no one should ever do that for any reason.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is, in Detroit, these two teenage girls found out they were dating the same guy. One of them, understandably, was upset about the fact that her boyfriend was cheating on her, and instead of addressing her boyfriend and breaking up with him or whatever, she stabbed one of her classmates in the middle of school.
Unrelated to the incident? Like, who's the classmate?
100% related to the incident.
But who's the classmate?
Like the girl.
Oh, she stabbed the
Yeah,
other
the
girl.
girls. Yeah, they're in class.
Oh,
together.
okay. I didn't get that.
So she just walked up to this girl in the middle of class, stabbed her because, like, the police basically said, like, it seems that the male in the situation had a relationship with both the victim and the suspect, which I don't think they needed to tell us that. Like, I feel
Yikes.
like that's personal for their investigation, but I don't think, like, oh yeah, classic case. He cheated, she got the girl. Like, no, this is a very serious thing, and now we know why it happened, but it's such a ridiculous way to react to that thing. Like, the anger shouldn't be on the person who your significant other cheated with. It should be on the person you're dating. And
Yeah,
even then, you
absolutely.
should never get violent with that person.
Yeah, you should never get
Or
violent with
anyone.
anyone unless they're like getting violent with you. But even still, that's an odd situation.
Yeah. All right. So we've done Crime Watch. We've done your cancel. We talked about the greatest game of all time. We talked about superheroes. You ready to break into these questions, Aaron?
Question time.
Did
We need some
Aaron
we
send
need a
us some
soundboard so we can have a bunch of cool like things. You know what I mean?
samples?
Yeah, samples
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
you're canceled.
Definitely.
Question time. Free whatever, free sock thing. I don't know.
Crime Watch.
Yeah. That's exactly
Oh
what
yeah,
we need.
let's peep at these questions. Okay. So, from Noah, he's determined to get these socks this month.
Yeah, Noah really
Right.
wants these socks. Much appreciated for supporting the podcast though, Noah. Thank you very much.
Also, I'll talk about it with you off podcast because I don't know if you know. I wanted to do a shout out to someone because they got some good news recently. One of our friends got some good news. I wanted to be like, hey, shout out this person. Something really good happened for you, but I don't want to put them on blast if they don't want to tell people.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll ask them and then we'll do the next podcast.
For sure.
Stay tuned, everybody, to see who has the good news.
You know about it, right?
I don't
You know
even know what
what
you're
I'm
talking about.
No?
I have
Okay,
a
okay.
guess,
I'll
but
tell you later.
okay, yeah. But first, let's talk about
I think your
Noah's
first guess
questions.
is right. Anyway,
Probably.
if you could bring any one person back to life, who would it be?
That's a great question, Noah. This question has a lot of implications because, like, if I'm bringing back to life Abraham Lincoln, is he like 300 years old, or is he like, does he comes back to life at whatever age he died?
Yeah, the age thing is never specifies in this. Like, if someone died of old age and I bring them back to life, they're pretty much right back where, like, they reloaded their last save and they didn't have a whole lot of health beforehand. So,
Yeah, so they're just gonna die again momentarily, right?
like, very soon.
All right, we're gonna have to
yeah.
set
But I think
some guidelines for our answer to this.
Yeah, but also, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, so he wasn't too old when. So if we brought him back specifically, he'd be healed, and so he would just be a regular, fully functional Abe Link.
That's true. He'd have a few more years to live. But then, would we be bringing him back into our time? Because he'd be so confused.
Yeah, no, he'd be in our timeline, but I think everything that happened before, like, because he still died. It's not like we stole him out of time.
So it'd be like
It's not
a
that.
Captain
It's just-
America situation.
It's more like a Lazarus pit situation. Like, we put him in the pit, he comes back healed and better.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like Ra's al Ghul or Jason Todd or what have you.
All right, yeah, definitely.
We're so fucking nerdy on this.
Yeah,
thing.
we
We're
are.
so
We are.
goddamn nerdy. It's whatever.
It's fine though.
But okay, who could you bring back? And who would you bring back if you could bring back anyone?
That's a very difficult because I want to bring back people like selfishly, like we talked
Yeah, no,
about.
like are you going selfish, or are you gonna be like, I want to bring back Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, seriously,
Like-
that'd probably be like the smart decision to make. Like someone that could actually like do something in this world, but I don't.
only fun people. That's the one rule I'm gonna put right now. Only something selfish, something super fun.
All right.
So like, it can't be anyone who you're like, oh, they're gonna change. No, you have to do it with the implication that you're just gonna be this person's friend.
Oh, friend?
You're just gonna be their best friend. Yeah, you're just gonna be this person's BFF. When they come back,
Oh, wow.
you're responsible for them in this time, and you're their best friend.
Oh my gosh, that's like the Family Guy where Peter becomes friends with Jesus Christ. Remember that one?
Yep.
Oh
That's
wow.
the one. That's basically it.
Oh, but then I don't know if I'd want to. Huh? Who are you thinking, Daryl?
This is a tough one. My first gut response was Patrick Swayze.
Really?
Just because, I feel like we didn't get enough action movies out of him that we could have, and I feel like if me and him were friends, he'd definitely put me in some of the movies where I'd be the guy in the chair, or I could be like a henchman or something that does a funny quip where I'm like, whoa, they don't pay me enough for this. You win, Patrick Swayze, and I walk out. Like, anything. But I feel like right now, Patrick Swayze, and I do Point Break 2. I'm Keanu, he's Swayze.
Ooh, wow. Wow, Daryl, that's a good answer. My initial response was like, I wanted to be Heath Ledger so he could be in the third Batman movie, you know? The third Nolan film. But I don't know if I'd want to be his best friend and like have to like be responsible for him.
You're just sort of getting him acquainted with the time, so like if anyone's like, hey, what's going on with Heath Ledger? You don't have to know where he is at that moment, but you have to make sure like he's not dead.
But even still, like
right
yeah,
now.
I don't know. But then like if I brought him back now, that movie's already been made, so what's the point? They're not going to make another movie.
Yeah, no, but imagine everyone's like no one knows you have this technology to reanimate people you like. Okay, so you just show up with Heath Ledger, the real Heath Ledger, out of nowhere. Like, Heath's back, you're welcome. People are gonna be pretty... they might just be like, Christopher, he's back. Chris, he's back. He's alive. Batman 4, come on. We did a trilogy. We got to do a fourth one. Joker's back. Let's go.
That would be best case scenario. Especially for Christopher Nolan. His Oscar's been dodging him so hard.
Ledger and kiss him straight on, like, oh my God, I missed you so much. I loved you, Heath. Yes, thank Christ. Tom Hardy was great and all, but no one can do what you did. You did it. You did it the best.
He did do it the best. He is the best. But then when you bring someone back to life, like it would ruin their legacy because his legacy is like so interesting now. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they're gone is like
insane to be the Joker.
Yeah, like it loses the price,
magic and mystique,
the magnitude.
But here's the thing: if you die and come back anytime,
that's
your legacy
true.
Sort of triples. It sort of fucking triples.
That's absolutely true. Like, that's never happened, so I didn't really think about the implications.
Yeah, no, like, Heath Ledger died. That was sad. But now he's back and he's doing Joker again? Amazing.
The only way to make that better is if he died again and then we brought him back to life again.
Like the Jurassic Park people, we're just like, dinosaurs are gone. Wait a second. Dinosaurs are not gone. Wait, they're gone again. We fucked it up. Wait, they're back one more time, but this time they mean it.
Oh, absolutely, Daryl.
And then Heath Ledger World, and then Heath Ledger World 2 is what we would have to wind up making.
Yeah, but what about 3?
I don't know how well Jurassic World did, so I don't know if there's going to be a Jurassic World 3. I can
Daryl,
tell you
there's going to be a
Ledger
3.
World 3.
There's going to be a 3. Come on. Wait, did you see that movie?
I did not see that movie.
Okay, never mind then. This is a spoiler-free podcast.
It's not, because we do tell spoilers. Well, I tell spoilers if it's been out for longer than 3 months. You have 3 months to see a thing. Because most of the time they're out in like a month and a half.
I don't think that movie's been out 3 months. Oh, actually it might be. I don't know. Who knows? What a great question, Noah. Thank you very much.
We have another one.
Another one from Noah.
Another question.
I actually like this question. If Aaron needed a kidney transplant right now and the only match was Daryl, would you give Aaron your kidney? On the spot, Daryl.
Yeah, 100%.
Really? You'd go through all that for me?
100%.
Wow,
yep,
Daryl.
no question.
Wow, man. And I would also, vice versa, give you my kidney. I don't know how we'd know that, but I guess it'd just be like a situation. I think they would just
be like, do you know anyone who'd be a match? And then I guess you're supposed to be like, can you guys get a test to see if I can have one of your organs real quick?
Yeah, so but then I feel like your dick friends could just be like, oh yeah, for sure, dude. And then like they're just like, oh yikes, haven't gotten around to it, bud, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no, if you need a kidney, I'm getting in that chair and I'm being like, can you have it? Can you have it? This is a pristine kidney right here.
Wow, Daryl, that really touches my heart, and I would do the same for you, my man.
Thank you. That touches me as well. I feel like if your friend wouldn't do that, I'd be like, it's like,
I'd question
oh,
our
what do I need
friendship,
you
maybe.
around
Like,
as a friend.
like you
Yeah,
want to be
like,
friends with me, but not if I need anything of you.
Yeah. That's sort of the whole point of me not being friends with that person I used to live with who's dead to me now. Because they're fucking dead to me.
Oh.
Hate that person.
Hopefully that person
hate
doesn't
that
listen to the
person so
podcast.
much.
Because
They
we have
don't.
limited
They don't
viewers, we
respect me
can't
as a
really
person
single any
or my
out.
creative projects. They don't respect it, so I hate that person.
All right, cool, Daryl, for sure.
It was a real good vibe to just throw on the podcast. That was fun. I liked it.
Yeah,
There's weird
aggressive,
energy
not
now?
passive, just aggressive.
Yeah, no, let's chase it. Let's chase it. Who else do you want to call out by name? Let's go. Let's round off some names. Who do you think wouldn't give you the kidney and why? Tell me which one of your
No,
friends.
Daryl, I'm not doing that. I'm absolutely
I'm kidding. No,
not
that'd be
doing
fucked up. And this is why I think this motherfucker wouldn't give me his kidney, dick. Just call him out. I dare you.
that. No, I think any of my friends would give me their kidney if I needed it and if they were able to give it to me. I think I've got good friends. Shout out to all my friends.
Same.
The only
Yeah,
people
shout
that
out
listen to this
friends who listen to
podcast.
the podcast and send questions in. Okay. So now I think we should just try and make our own questions for the listeners, for ourselves, and that we can talk about.
Sure.
So Aaron, if you had one shot, one opportunity to capture, or just let it slip.
Daryl.
I'm kidding. I know. No more M&Ms. I'm not going to talk
Wait,
about
was that
it.
the song that our English teacher sang that one time?
I guess, probably.
That was a funny thing that happened. But go ahead and ask a question, Daryl. Think of something.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give a little like
If there
sample
w-
type deal so that people know what we're looking for in these questions.
Okay. What would be what's your worst fear about being an adult? What's the worst thing you're afraid of in your adult life that you didn't think you'd be afraid of as a kid? That's one question.
Wait, you want me to answer it right now, or are you thinking of more first?
Well, you can go ahead and answer it right now. I'm down to hear your thoughts about this. Now I'm curious.
Lately I've been really afraid of getting attacked because of this machete guy. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually afraid of that. Like I didn't think I'd be this afraid of something until someone actually went around with a machete and started stabbing people. Now I'm legitimately
All right.
afraid.
All right. Next question, since I'm going to follow this vein of fears or whatever. Do you think the whole clown thing in 2016 was real? Or do you think what do you think happened? Because they just sort of vanished after a while.
I don't know.
Do you think at any point it was real?
I don't know. I never saw anything with my own eyes, so I have to assume that it's not real, but I don't know. I don't even know that much about that situation.
Oh, yeah. Well, just in a bunch of towns all over the country, people started dressing up as clowns and, like, hanging out in the middle of the night to, like, scare people. Well, what happened before that? It became a trend to do that for views, but there were a lot of unrelated sightings in different states all over the fucking country.
Was it supposed to be like a Halloween joke type deal, or
It wasn't during Halloween. It was just random times during the year where people would
was it like a promotional thing for that movie It?
Mm-mm. It had nothing to do with It, because it was way before It was, like, out. And, like, they were doing trailers for it. It was just sort of random people were just dressing up as clowns in different states doing nothing.
Are there pictures of it?
Yeah, you can look it up right now. But what my whole thing is, I think that there was one person who was actually a serial killer clown. And then someone, like, took a picture of him when he wasn't prepared. And he was like, oh, crap, about to build all this hype.
There's a
up before I get my first
Wikipedia
victim."
page for this. This is like a legitimate thing. 2016 clown sightings. Wow.
Yep.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for that.
It's
Go
a
ahead,
real-
Daryl.
It was a real big thing. I think that there was one serial killer clown who was actually about to go on a killing spree, and then people turned him into a meme, and he thought, fuck it, never mind. That's my whole theory, is that, like, there was a sighting, people were like, oh my god, be careful of this clown, and he was about to pounce on all that hype and suspense, and then people started doing it for views, because there were a lot of sightings that got recorded on people's phones or whatever. Like they'd be driving late at night, they'd see a clown in the middle of the road and pretend to run it over.
I think I did hear about that. So did anyone get murdered?
No one got murdered except some. No one got murdered, but some clowns actually did get hurt.
This
Because of
happened a
people,
lot
like,
of
doing it
places
as a prank.
too. Austria,
Yeah, no, some of
Belgium,
it was
Brazil, Canada, Chile, Denmark. Everywhere.
Yeah, no.
Singapore,
I think
Spain.
Some of it was real, and then it just got turned into a joke.
This couldn't have
and
been
people
one
would, like,
guy.
Copy pasta. No. It's probably like one or two people who were like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then everyone else was just like, "You know, it'd be funny if I made this meme or scary thing happen in my town."
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
that's really what happened. It's kind of like any of those internet challenge things where it's like somebody starts it and then a bunch of people just start doing it because they saw it on the internet.
Yeah. So that was one thing. Have you seen the movie Slender? I know you don't like horror movies, but have you seen, like, I heard that one wasn't scary.
I've seen 2 horror movies in my life, Daryl. One is The Forest, and one is the one I watched with our friends. I can't remember what it's called. The Den.
The torture one.
Yeah,
Gross.
those are the only ones
hate
I've
the
ever
torture
seen.
ones. That's weird, because I've seen a lot.
I don't like those movies at all.
I think the thing I like the least about horror movies is when, like, well, sometimes you ever see things that aren't there and you, like, your brain tricks on you, whatever.
Yes, sir.
I'm just afraid, like, the one thing I don't want to take away from a horror movie is where I see something and I'm like, oh man, what if I see that? And I know it's not real, but I just keep seeing it around. That's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like, ruin
that's
my
a good
weekend.
reason. I'm also like afraid of getting murdered in my house just because there's a machete man. Like, if I watch a horror movie, I'm gonna be even more scared.
Yeah.
No matter how, like-
on the scares.
Like whether or not my scare is what's the word? Okay, I can't think of the word, but like valid. Yeah, if it's valid or not, I'll still be scared,
Mhm.
whether or not I should be. It's just not worth
Yeah, it's like
the
a-
trouble.
Mhm. Oh, so have you heard about Serena Williams and the whole U.S. Open thing?
I heard about it. I just don't know. Like, I don't know what the situation is.
All right, let me fill you in. Here's the scoop, kid. Basically, during the final match of the U.S. Open, the umpire called Serena Williams out for coaching, basically for like getting extra help from the sideline and cheating or whatever. And she was like, "I've never cheated in my life. I'm Serena goddamn Williams." Like, that's so rude of you to be like, "I cheated. I've literally never cheated. You guys drug test me all the time. I've never come up positive. All my opponents come up positive because they have to cheat to beat me, and they still don't. And you owe me an apology." And the guy just kept penalizing her for being mad at him, because she was like, "You keep saying I'm doing these things and I'm not." Like, she was just getting mad at his calls, and he basically gave her opponent a free game. You know how tennis works, right? Like, you win sets of games, and if you win more games than the other person, you win the match.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I've played Wii tennis.
Yeah, so it's like that. He gave her a whole game just because he was mad at Serena Williams.
Yikes.
And it wound up costing her.
Wait, so
the
all this
match,
happened on the
basically.
court?
Yeah, all this happened on the court. Like, she was like, because you can just talk to the umpire. He's right there. And she was like, "I've never cheated." Like, and he said it on the loudspeaker, too. So he's like, "Go on the loudspeaker and apologize, because I've never done that. Ever." And he was just like, "If you don't like my call, you don't have to play." And basically, I don't know. The U.S. Open has been yanking Serena's chain around for a very long time. And I feel like at this point, she should just start her own league.
League? Is there enough,
Like her own tennis championship.
Is there enough volume in the tennis industry for her to start her own league?
For Serena goddamn Williams, the greatest tennis player of all time ever, yes.
Oh, okay,
There
Daryl.
is.
I didn't know you felt so strongly of tennis, but, I mean, I guess, sure.
No, it's just like, there's no other athlete in the history of sport that's won as much as, like, that's been as dominant of a force as Serena and Venus Williams. Like, they've had there's a literal tennis dynasty for those two sisters, and they've just been the best for decades. No one's been even close to, like, rivaling them or being an issue for them. And so it's just sort of like, even when they don't win, like everything, they still come back and absolutely, like, she came back after almost dying during childbirth and crushed the tournament, you know?
Huh.
And she had this special suit that she had to wear to prevent blood clots. Like, Nike invented a special suit for her for medical reasons that she could wear. And the U.S. Open decided that it was inappropriate for her to wear that suit. Just because. They just banned her specific type of suit. And so it was just sort of like, they keep doing little shit like that to her so she doesn't want to play. And I just think, if I'm the best athlete of the sport, I'm the main draw to the sport, I'm the whole reason people are putting butts in seats, because I'm who they're here to see, because they know I'm going to be here every time. You owe me some respect.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm the best. You shouldn't be treating me like I'm some scrub who keeps cheating if you've never once ever caught me cheating.
I mean, if this is like a recurring thing, like, sure, I guess she can make her own league or whatever, but it's not that big of a deal.
It is, like, she gets drug tested the most, like, out of all the other tennis athletes, even more than the people who've been caught taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if there's people that are gonna watch her league or whatever, then yeah, sure, I'd make my own league too, or just retire. I mean, she's been playing tennis for a long time now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, really, just whatever makes her happy, Daryl. She shouldn't be like singled out or anything, but if that's happening on reoccurring instances, then she should quit. Figure out her own thing. Find the next stone.
I feel it. And with that, I know we're cutting it a little bit short, but this was a pretty well-packed episode, I think. There's a lot of stuff in this one.
Yeah, we had some pretty good ups and downs in this today's episode, the 500th episode. 500th download special. 500th download. Thank you guys so much for 500 downloads. For that, Daryl's going to do some special ASMR for you guys right now. Go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, welcome to Free Socks, the podcast. I'm your main man, Daryl Hale, Diet Purina, on the mic, just giving you those sweet ASMR tingles, just those buzzy buzzes right for your fuzz. You know what I'm saying? Like, buzz, ASMR. So smooth. My voice sounds like butter just pouring out of my mouth right now. Just
all right, Daryl.
buzz.
All right, we get Thank you to everyone for listening to this episode. Yeah. Tune in next week to figure out which one of our friends has special news.
Okay, now let's just get to some plugs. Still looking for a sponsor. You could be right here or anywhere else in the podcast.
Anywhere.
Audible.
Anywhere you want.
Purina.
Anywhere.
MeUndies. Blue Apron. Loot Crate. Snack Box. Whatever.
DoorDash.
You know, we'll do AutoZone. We're looking for sponsors anywhere we go. Casper Mattresses. What else? Name another one that does podcasts, Aaron. Name another one. Because there's so many.
The brothers who made a watch company?
Yes. Movement Watches. Movement Watches. Extreme Restraints. Anyone, please, for the love of all that is holy, sponsor us. Also, we can't afford to advertise this because we're both very poor students. So please just tell your friends, like, hey, my friends do this podcast, and it's not too bad most of the time.
Spread the word.
Sometimes
we have great segments.
We do. We're constantly working on segments so that you guys want to keep listening. Like, I haven't done a whole lot about James Gunn Watch, but here's a late James Gunn Watch. We're gonna get sound bites for that. So
we really need that. This episode has really brought my attention to the fact that we need that for this podcast. If you guys think we need that, let us know at givemefreesocks@gmail.com or on Twitter.
Yeah, James Gunn Watch. We told you guys there hasn't been any real updates. Dave Bautista's 100% okay with not being Drax anymore, is what he's basically said in this interview. He says, basically, he's like, you know, if they recast someone that's not me, I'm still going to watch the movies. I'm hype as hell for Guardians. It's just, I'm not going to be partner to this if we're not going to have James Gunn, because I think he's a good person, and I think the trolls shouldn't win or get rewarded for doing something he already apologized for.
Yeah, and he said that even if he isn't Drax anymore, he still thinks they should do a solo movie for Drax, which I think is that's pretty bold for him to say, but I mean, yeah, sure, guy, whatever floats your boat.
You know, homeboy is not. He's got that WWE money. He's got so much money from other movies he's been in. I can't think of any right now, but he's got some money from those. But he's been in the WWE for a very long time.
I didn't even know he was part of that until just now.
You didn't know that Dave Bautista was a wrestler?
Never. The only person I know from the WWE is John Cena and Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Ronda Rousey.
You don't know about Brock Lesnar?
Well, I knew about him from the UFC, and then I guess I heard that he was from WWE. So yeah,
Undertaker, Aaron. Undertaker.
Daryl, I don't
Jeff
know these
Hardy,
people. I
Kofi Kingston.
No.
Paul Heyman.
No. You could ask my good friend Logan about that. He loves the WWE. Shout out Logan.
He's a good friend anymore, but on that note.
All right, no, sure.
On that note, this was a very good podcast. Please tell your friends to listen and check us out. We got our first organic listener. Shout out Joe Mack.
Joe Mack. We need a sound bite of that too, Joe Mack.
Yeah, we'll make sound bites for you if you're like an organic listener, or if you just send in a lot of questions, because we'll just.
Or if you have a cool name that sounds cool.
This is a fun thing that we do in our spare time. Yeah, like if it's a full name that sounds cool, we'll do that. But thank you guys so much for listening. It's been real cool getting to 500 downloads. You know, we want to keep pushing up those downloads things. Currently, the podcast is only really available on Apple Podcasts, but I'm going to upload it so that it's available on Google Play, and we're going to start posting the audio to YouTube. I wouldn't expect any video podcasts for a while.
Long time.
Yeah, very long time. But thank you so much. Let us know if the audio quality is different. Aaron's using a real mic, so we're trying some stuff out. And I think that's it. Thanks so much for listening. Signing off in 3, 2, 1.